Here is a full cost breakdown of living expenses in Plovdiv, Bulgaria as a medical student from the UK or Ireland. Let's talk about it. Disclaimer, this is literally based on my expenses plus friends around me, and it's gonna vary from people to people. First expense we need to talk about is gonna be your tuition. For anyone who came to Bulgaria right up until 2021, tuition was 8,000 euros, still is, but now if you come to Bulgaria, it's gonna be about 9,000 euros a year. This is broken down to 4.5k in September and then 4.5k in February. So the next big expense is going to be your rents. Now, rent used to be way cheaper in Plovdiv than what it is now. The prices have skyrocketed. Property has gone up right now. So typically for rent, you're going to be paying about 360 euros to about 500 euros. So it's kind of a broad spectrum. This price is going to come down to your taste, location, and whether you get a roommate or whether you opt in to live in an older building, because a lot of the buildings now that are more expensive are a lot of new buildings that have been built in the last 2-3 years. But if we say the average rents for someone here is about 420 euros, we multiply that by 12, you're going to be spending about 5,040 euros a year on rents. All right, let's talk about food. So this once again will vary from person to person. For myself, I spend about 60 euros on my weekly shopping, plus like eating snacks or buying stuff like, at the shops or whatever between classes. So for me, this works out to about 2,880 euros a year spent on food. Now, once again, this is going to range. This is a range. So this is like me calculating this for 12 months in a year. Obviously, I'm not spending the full 12 months in Bulgaria, but it's going to come down to about 2,000 euros-ish. So yeah, you should probably factor that into your expenses. All right, another big expense that people don't really think about are flights. So let's say you fly home 3 to 4 times a semester. Average flights are going to cost between 70 to 120 euros or pound return. So we're talking about a range of 280 to about 480 euros or pound for flight tickets per semester. Okay, so another big expense we need to talk about is going to be your utilities. So electricity, internet, and water. Once again, it varies from person to person, and also it depends on the type of building you live in. So for example, typically I pay about 30 to about 40 leva a month, which is about 20 euros, about 15 to 20 euros a month on my electricity. So we're talking about 200 to about 240 euros a year on your electricity bills. Next up, my internet bill, it's about 9 euros a month. So we're talking about 108 euros in a year for your internet. Once again, depends on the provider you go for. I have been with the same provider for the last 3 years. So my rate or my price has gone down actually in the last year or two. Typically, my water bill is about 7 to about 10 leva a month. So you have to factor in for about 40 to about 60 euros for the year for water. So yeah. Now, the last expense we need to talk about is miscellaneous stuff. Whether you go out to travel with friends, you go on a trip, you want to have a nice evening in Capana or whatever it may be, miscellaneous stuff, it always comes up. I would probably say factor in about maximum £50 in a month for miscellaneous stuff, maybe a book or something or whatever. Okay, so in total, how much money are we talking? How much is it going to cost you a year for your tuition, living costs, etc.? It's actually quite a big number. I've literally punched into my calculator. It's quite high. So you're talking about the average person is probably going to be spending about 17,000 pounds. It may range, once again, depending on how frugal you are, on how you manage your money. It could be between about 14,000 to maybe about 17,000 pounds. So yeah, so it literally depends on how you manage your money, the type of apartment you choose to live in, what you choose to spend your money on. So yeah, if you guys want some tips and tricks on how I make some extra money in Bulgaria, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video as well, guys. All the best.